And welcome to another outside review. My name is Pat. We've got the Volvo C40 right here. You can tell it's electric. There's no grill. It's got a nice looking front end. We got Thor's light right here. And the reason why the lights are on is because we got Luke sitting in the seats. That's right. His butt is the push start button. There's no push start button. We got 20-inch wheels. We got 235s in the front, 255s in the back. And speaking of the back, we got the fastback. We got the coupe look, and it's got a nice stylish look to it. However, that's also its drawback. I'll explain. Let's dive in. Here we are inside the Volvo C40, and right away you get your digital gauge cluster. You get your 12-inch digital gauge cluster, which I love. I absolutely love this. Why? Google Maps integrated right in here. Very easy to read, very clear, and you got all your info. You got your battery percentage, you got your range, assessment, but we never go off that. People that drive EVs, you just go off their percentage and stuff. And you got your usage, how many kilowatts are you doing, and all that stuff. Steering wheel, no nonsense steering wheel. You got your views, you got your buttons. Nice feel to the buttons, nice feel to the steering wheel, and you got your stocks like you would in any internal combustion car, which is great. Screen, you got Google OS integrated in this vehicle. So Google's telling you, that's the main thing about this vehicle I love. If I want to plot a course, it's going to tell me exactly what my battery assessment is going to be, battery percentage is going to be once I get to my destination, and it's going to find chargers for me along the way. It's going to recommend to me where I should charge, where are the fast chargers. It's so easy to use, and for people that are not used to EVs, this is the operating system you want. It's the best one in the market, and it's the one that's going to find the chargers for you along the way, and it makes it hassle-free. Plot your destination, follow the directions. Moving on, not a lot of buttons. Definitely you got some play buttons and some defrost buttons, but all your controls are going to be right in here for HVACs. You got your fan speed and all that stuff. Everything is there. Everything else is just applications. You can download all the apps that you could from your Play Store. You got a wireless charger, and you got your shifter. I love the shifter. You can just put your fingers in there and go reverse, and then you got your views in reverse over here, and you just got a park button that you can put it on there, cup holders, and you have a garbage bin here that you can actually empty out whenever you're done with your garbage. You take this and you go and just empty it out. I find that pretty convenient. Now, one thing that we didn't know about, and we had to research it, we got these holes right here in the back, and basically what they are for is accessories. You can have a coat hanger, you can have a cargo net go in the back here, and you could also have a metal sheet divider that separates the cargo when you have all the seats down to the front. We didn't know about it. And again, ambient lighting, only one color, but definitely the topographical map that pops up definitely looks pretty cool. This model's got the Harman Kardon sound system, and it sounds really nice. It's definitely a minimalistic interior. However, there's nothing minimalistic about how this car handles, so let's take it for a drive. And we just finished charging the Volvo. Now let's take it for a drive. Here we are on board the Volvo C40, and we're gonna always punch it. You gotta love EV accelerations. There's nothing like it. Unless you want to spend money on a supercar, there's nothing quite like this. Now, we've got the rear-wheel drive variant, so that gives us about 248 horsepower and 310 pounds-feet of torque. We can go to 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. As for miles, you're looking at 297 miles or 477 kilometers of range. and that's on the 79 kilowatt battery. That's right, they increased the size of the battery for 2024, but not on the all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive still maintains the 75 kilowatt battery, and all-wheel drive, you'll go 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. And that's because all-wheel drive, you have 402 horses and 494 pounds-feet of torque. That is a lot of torque. That'll definitely snap your head back as you're driving around with the all-wheel drive. And one thing I like about Volvo, and some people might dislike this, but drive modes. There's no real drive modes. You have off-road mode, which I don't recommend you take this car off-road, although it does perform pretty well with the all-wheel drive. However, no drive modes, and I like that, and I'll tell you why. If I want to go fast, I just press fast. If I want to go slow, I just don't press fast or as hard. It is so simple, guys, and I like the fact that I don't have to press a button. If I want to go fast, I can on the fly, and if I just want to cruise, then just cruise. Now, one thing that the Volvo does, you know, as far as other compact SUVs shy about is maybe as far as space go. So the C40 has 40 inches of legroom in the front and 36 in the second row. Now, I'd like to see more, like, bigger numbers, like, for example, the Chevy Blazer EV has like almost 40 inches of legroom in the back there. But I mean, we're dealing with the size of vehicle we're dealing with, right? And that's why you got pretty decent efficiency. As far as you're talking about kilowatts per 100 kilometers, my average in that 1100 kilometers I've done is 22.2, and that's including a lot of highway. If you take that in consideration, the fuel efficiency or electricity efficiency of this vehicle is actually quite decent. And again, it has to do with its size and the way it uses the electricity. Cargo space, you're looking at the C40, 49 cubic feet with the seats down, cubic feet of space with the seats up. Now, earlier I talked about a competitor. I'm going to spill the beans right here. Its real competitor comes from Volvo. It's the XC40, and that's because you get 16 cubic feet with the seats up and 57 cubic feet with the seats down. So a lot more cubic feet, and as far as range, like, you'll lose like a few miles here, but it's definitely not something to brag about. So this vehicle has the same price point as the XC40, so that makes the XC40 its direct competitor. Now, I forgot to mention this, but as far as space, we got a frunk, and that's 1 cubic feet. So it's not the biggest frunk, but it's not the smallest. You definitely can put a few things in there. Let's talk about the interior a little bit, because my wife said when she came in that the screen kind of makes it look dated or basic. Now, I'm gonna agree with her on some part. I think the screen could be a little bit bigger, and I'd like to be able to use, now you can use Apple CarPlay just by downloading the app and all that stuff. And like I said, it's a Google OS system, which is great at predicting your battery percentages on road trips and where to find chargers and such. It is absolutely phenomenal for that. One of the best. But like I said, a bigger screen and maybe a little bit less use of that piano black that we're seeing, because I do think that it's a material that's definitely overused in the market, and for a premium vehicle like Volvo, I'd expect more. That being said, where it doesn't falter or fall short is the comfort. This is a 3 or 4 hour drive that I'm doing today, and extremely comfortable the whole way. I got the little leg extensions here, or the thigh extender that I can just manually take out, which I love, because personally, I don't like highly customizable seats where it's a 20-way adjustable seats. You know what I'm talking about, the Lincolns that we drove that it just couldn't find a way to get comfortable. I like the 8-way, and I like having lumbar support, and I find that that's great. And then the manual thigh extender is awesome as well. And the quiet aspect. This vehicle is extremely quiet, very well isolated from noise, and that's probably why it makes the Harman Kardon sound system sound so good. It's a very good system, but again, how quiet the cabin is, great job. You won't have any complaints. Road noise too is very minimal. I'm on the highway right now, it's not an issue. So the larger wheels usually means less comfortable ride, but not in this case. The suspension is very well tuned. Body roll very, very minimal as you're driving around, and I have no issues except for visibility. If you're looking out back that window right now, this is a coupe or a fastback, so you're gonna expect that. But again, its competitor, the XC40, has a bigger rear window, bigger visibility. Also, these pillars are quite large compared to other vehicles. Now, Volvo prides itself on safety, and that it is. It's great for safety, and I did also feel like at one point I was coming up on a vehicle that was turning, and I wasn't quite slowing down because I knew he was turning, but the vehicle sensed it and it tightened up my seatbelt for me as a safety feature, so you don't have that swing and then jerky motion on your collarbone. Definitely, these vehicles are made to be safe. Safety is definitely a priority for Volvo, and you feel that throughout, but the visibility does get affected with that. And also, that rear window doesn't have a wiper. XC40 does have a wiper. So I don't know, they took a page from Hyundai on this one, or Kia, but I'm not a fan of it. And another nice touch I like about the interior is along the doors, you have, you know, when the cargo areas are at the bottom, there's also carpets on the inside of the doors, and that works wonders. I think it helps a lot for, one, the soundproofing, and two, if you put a bottle in there, the rattling, you won't hear it rattle around the plastic like you would if you were to put it in just a regular interior that has hard plastic all around. So that's definitely good. And right now I'm using the advanced cruise control, and it is very smooth. I'm very impressed with it. There's not a whole lot of swaying between the lines and stuff, and it definitely reads up ahead the obstacles. So I've been using it on this long drive, the advanced cruise control, and I absolutely love it. Next stop, because I just stopped to charge it because I got to top up the vehicle before I bring it back to the supplier, and it charges pretty well. I mean, it charges up to 150 kilowatts an hour for speed, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's not the fastest, but it's also not the slowest in the market. And I absolutely love the release button for the charge cable. That means you just press that button, you have the key fob on you, press that button, it unlocks it. Other vehicles, you have to lock it, unlock it, and then release the cable right away, or if you take too long, then you have to redo that again. It's just a pain. This is very easy to do, and charge speeds, it basically meets the charge speeds that it says it does, 150 kilowatts an hour. It'll meet that, but you see the drop off is a little bit, you know, sooner than I expected. Usually at 80% is where you see a drop in speed. In this particular case, it's 70%. So now I guess I'll give it my final verdict as I'm approaching my drop off point. Pros and cons. Well, pros, driving. If you're a driver, drivers drive, you're gonna love how this car drives. It's great acceleration when needed. One pedal drive is extremely, you know, it's smooth, as well as it comes to a complete stop. Very quiet, and it provides decent range. I know that it doesn't meet up to Model Y type range, but it's also not a Model Y type of interior. It's Scandinavian minimalistic, but not Tesla minimalistic. I have a great array of buttons and stocks, as well as a nice driver cluster. So yeah, it might not compete with range as far as the Tesla Model Y, but it definitely does with performance. handling, and it surpasses its quality because you just feel how well and how tight this vehicle is. Nothing's rattling, everything is functional, including the pass-through. So my last pro is the functionality. It's got a nice pass-through in the back for my hockey sticks or skis, if you ski, but mainly me for my hockey sticks. It's got carpentry on the side doors. It's got hooks. It's got a divider in the back, in the trunk, in your cargo space, and it comes with grocery hooks. So they thought about everything, every single aspect of functionality they could squeeze into this vehicle. They thought about it. So that is the last pro I have. As far as cons, I'm gonna have to say the price. Now, I've been reluctant to tell you the prices because, again, it's a con. But here it is. In the US, it starts at $54,000, it goes up to $62,000 US. In Canada, $63,000, and it goes all the way up to $78,000 Canadian. That is quite pricey. And again, its direct competitor, the XC40, same price line. Same price line, more cargo, like a 5 kilometers less of range, or like 2 miles less of range, and horsepower is the same and everything else is the same. So that is another con. Is it doesn't, in my practical opinion, it doesn't compete with its direct competitor, the XC40. However, if you're more about style, then you're going to completely disregard that aspect and think that this vehicle just has the one con, which is the price and the range. The range could be a little bit better. I know I put it as a pro because it's improved since 2023, but I still would love to see that rear-wheel drive get to 500 kilometers of range and the all-wheel drive to be above 450 kilometers of range. That being said, in real life, if your battery is up to 100%, you could get very close to the 400 kilometers of range, and that is using HVAC, driving in a non-conservative manner. I'm not going to say aggressively because I'm not exactly an aggressive driver. I am, but so driving like myself, driving like me, driving fast, hard, and wanting to be comfortable in the car, meaning I don't rely on the heated seat and heated steering wheel. I want operating the HVAC. You can reach 400 kilometers with this vehicle. So these are my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. Which one would you pick? The XC40 or the C40? We're hoping to do the XC40 shortly. And obviously a lot more reviews coming down the line, so please like and subscribe to the channel. That helps so much, and we'll see you later.